Tonight on the Night Team. New developments in the New Albany Harvest Homecoming shooting that killed 18-year-old Bryce Gerlach.
With these incidents happening, it does make me feel more on edge and more unsafe living here.
Multiple Kentuckiana law enforcement agencies executed 6 house raids this morning that led to 2 people being detained in connection to the shooting. Plus, a New Albany man shot and killed another man who was on his property with a sword. Police say the man who fired the shots waited 2 hours to call officers.
Basically manipulating, trying to conceal, hide, alter evidence.
We are now learning the 2 men do know each other. And later, our focus team investigates. A young basketball prospect moved to Kentuckiana from Africa, but he's now in the middle of a custody battle.
Not getting enough food, not being able to buy appropriately fitting clothes.
Why this case has made it to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. You're watching the WHAS11 Night Team. We have major developments tonight out of New Albany. Police raided 6 locations across Kentuckiana in connection with the Harvest Homecoming shooting. It's our top story here on the Night Team. I'm Alex Dieterer. Now, police say 3 innocent bystanders were hit by gunfire October 12th when an argument led to shots being fired outside Harvest Homecoming. High school senior Bryce Gerlach died as a result of his injuries. In a release today, New Albany Police Chief Todd Bailey says this morning's raids were focused on recovering evidence related to the case. In cooperation with Jeffersonville Police, LMPD, and the ATF, law enforcement raided 4 homes in New Albany, 1 in Jeffersonville, and 1 in Louisville. Two people have been detained as a result, and right now it is unclear what, if any, charges the 2 detained will face. Police say they have also recovered several guns. In a statement, Chief Bailey said in part, quote, "Today is a good day for our community. Great strides were made today to ensure justice for Bryce and the others wounded during this act of senseless violence." And what police are calling a confrontation in New Albany has left 1 man dead. State police say 68-year-old Kevin Campbell shot and killed a man in his yard that was carrying a sword. Police say Campbell called police nearly 2 hours later. We did learn today that the 2 men do know each other. The WHAS11 Night Team's Alexandra Goldberg and photojournalist Aspen Hester have the details and heard from a resident who says she's feeling on edge.
It's hard to feel safe on a day-to-day basis when things like this keep happening. And it's not just here, it's everywhere.
New Albany resident Gracie Kane says she's feeling on edge with multiple violent incidents happening in her riverfront town. On Saturday evening, police say 68-year-old Kevin Campbell shot 41-year-old Christopher Proctor in the chest after Campbell heard a knock on his bedroom window and was met with Proctor at his door, who police say was approaching him with a steel sword.
They did know each other. He had been in the home before. He had things, personal belongings inside the home.
Police say this is the residence where the incident occurred. Police say the confrontation happened at the front door and the gunshot victim was laying in this yard for nearly 2 hours before police were called on scene.
The bigger issue we have is that Mr. Campbell waited almost 2 hours before contacting law enforcement.
He was charged with obstruction of justice, a felony. This happened just hours before the community found out about a development in the Harvest Homecoming shooting that killed 1 teenage boy and injured 2 others. 2 people were detained in an operation Sunday morning.
I am a little bit hesitant to speak before convictions actually happen, but at the same time, it does make me feel a little bit safer knowing that the police around here are looking out for us.
Kane says she was at Harvest Homecoming the same day of the fatal shooting and lives just a mile away.
I had never felt that level of danger before this incident happened. You know, I always felt safe in New Albany until something like that happened so close to home.
Now, the community waiting for answers as the investigations continue. In New Albany, Alexandra Goldberg, WHAS11 Night Team, on your side.
And new tonight, Kentucky State Police have given an update on the officer-involved shooting at a hospital in Elizabethtown. This shooting happened inside Baptist Health Hardin early last Saturday morning. Kentucky State Police say officers had received reports about a man with a gun threatening patients and staff. Officers were told the man had fired his gun at least once before they arrived, and according to State Police, Elizabethtown officers encountered George Lee Jr. in a hallway. State Police say Lee turned toward officers with his weapon, which led Elizabethtown officer Alex Ruiz to fire his gun one time, hitting Lee. Lee was stabilized, then transported to U of L Hospital, where he remains in critical condition but is stable. Ruiz is a 10-year veteran and was placed on paid administrative leave as the investigation continues. Tonight, former President Donald Trump joined a long-held political tradition, rallying in Madison Square Garden. The Garden has hosted presidential candidates, political rallies, and national party conventions as early as 1892. Tonight, Trump took the stage after a series of warm-up speakers, some of which delivered racist remarks. At one point, comedian Tony Hinchcliffe referred to U.S. territory, Puerto Rico, as an island of garbage. Trump used the opportunity to ramp up insults against Harris and immigrants.
The past 4 years, Kamala Harris has orchestrated the most egregious betrayal that any leader in American history has ever inflicted upon our people. She has violated her oath, eradicated our sovereign border, and unleashed an army of migrant gangs who are waging a campaign of violence and terror against our citizens.
Vice President Kamala Harris spent much of the day in Pennsylvania at a rally in Philadelphia. Harris called for unity as she proclaims her victory.
We are going to win. That is our highest order. But through that process, to all the friends here, I say, let's be intentional about building community. Let's be intentional about building coalitions. Let's be intentional about understanding we all have so much more in common than what separates us. We will be the better for it.
Newest polls show Harris pulling ahead of Donald Trump. However, it is by the slimmest of margins. Just 2 percentage points separate the two candidates. Both parties continue to push for a large turnout. And election night, we are on the air and online. First results are at 6 election night, then at 7 streaming on WHAS11 Plus and the WHAS11 YouTube channel. At 11, after ABC News election coverage, we're here with the WHAS11 night team. The best analysts in town, Iris Wilbur-Glick and David Tandy, will be here at the studio and covering election night surprises. We hope you'll join us on election night.